The message is still the same. When will it change? When will racism, hating and holding back people based on color and appearance from progressing will end? When will power-hungry elites stop trying to overpower one another in war? When will we, the people, no matter nationality or religion, will agree to disagree and live in peace and harmony without criticizing, using, and killing one another? Understanding our power and uniting for a better world and life. It starts with you. It starts with me. Working on yourself, loving yourself, protecting your tribe, learning and growing. When will we have deeper conversations on exploring the earth, the skies, and the water, instead of being limited to what they tell us and want us to know? People will say racism doesn't exist, but you can't argue with the ignorant, because there's nations of melanated people across the world suffering from capitalism, with their government profiting off the slave labor of the people. And it's not just melanated people, it's all people across the world. Then there's prejudice. Know the difference. We are prejudiced against each other, good and bad, light and dark. Duality. Yeah, I get it. You can't have one without the other. There cannot be harmony without turmoil. So is this why we can't have a world of peace? Because there's always going to be some hating, evil spirit in the mix? The message is still the same. When will it change? It may not be the same where you're from. It may be glamorous, full of luxury and glitz. But where I'm from, I see struggle. I see people living paycheck to paycheck, homeless, people that need help, people that are programmed by a system designed for them to be slaves, to obey or be punished, waiting for a white Jesus. I don't like speaking on problems without solutions, but it's already known. Malcolm told us, Martin told us, we need our own. Marcus told us, to do this, we must support our own and not do each other wrong. Spread knowledge amongst each other. Education is liberation. Have positions of power in the economy. Control the game and not just play in the game while they own and control everything. Know thyself. Know your power and apply pressure. Our mind is our greatest asset and our greatest weapon. The message is still the same. When will it change?
The other America. And I use this subject because there are literally two Americas. One America is beautiful for a situation. And in a sense, this America is overflowing with the milk of prosperity and the honey of opportunity. This America is the habitat of millions of people who have food and material necessities for their bodies, and culture and education for their minds, and freedom and human dignity for their spirits. In this America, millions of people experience every day the opportunity of having life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness in all of their dimensions. And in this America, millions of young people grow up in the sunlight of opportunity. But tragically and unfortunately, there is another America. This other America has a daily ugliness about it that constantly transforms the buoyancy of hope into the fatigue of despair. In this America, millions of work-starved men walk the streets daily in search for jobs that do not exist. In this America, millions of people find themselves living in rat-infested, vermin-filled slums. In this America, people are poor by the millions, and they find themselves perishing on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. In a sense, the greatest tragedy of this other America is what it does to little children. Little children in this other America are forced to grow up with clouds of inferiority forming every day in their little mental skies. And as we look at this other America, we see it as an arena of blasted hopes and shattered dreams. Many people of various backgrounds live in this other America. Some are Mexican Americans, some are Puerto Ricans, some are Indians, some happen to be from other groups. Millions of them are Appalachian whites. Probably the largest group in this other America in proportion to its size in the population is the American Negro. The American Negro finds himself living in a triple ghetto, a ghetto of race, a ghetto of poverty, a ghetto is to deal with this problem of the two Americas. We are seeking to make America one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
They need fathers. They need protection. We hear about the drug problem that we have in our projects across the country. It's one of the major places that we have a drug problem. You know, we talk about the great strength that we have as black women. Well, the welfare department don't rent government apartments to single black men. Those apartments belong to black women who are allowing this to go on in their home. We have not looked at what part of the responsibility do we share. Yes, black men sell a lot of drugs, and a lot of us black women get the money from them drugs and buy some of these fancy clothes we wear. Drive around in some of these fancy cars. He is not doing these things alone and without support from us, whether they are good or bad. See, we have a lot of power. We are very strong women. I'm saying that we're using our strength in the wrong direction. We're using it to tear our man down, tear our nation down, instead of building it up. Having an education and a job does not necessarily mean you have a successful life. I keep telling black women that to raise a child, they say, well, I provided with food, clothing, and shelter. That's not raising a child, that's maintaining one. To raise a child, you need a parental coalition of a man and a woman. We have sons who, by not having a father in the home, they don't know how to respect women. They take on the black female emotionalism. They become bitchy, they're doubtful, they're indecisive, they can't make a decision. They don't know what to do about being a man because we can't teach them that. We don't have that knowledge. We have daughters who grow up in a home where they don't see any affection, where there's no man there. They go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have no idea how to be no woman to no man, how to function in a house with a man, because they haven't seen it. Most of our children, just like us, get all the information we have about how you be with a mate off television. It's the only medium that shows us anybody being together. Those rules have not worked for us. The white woman's liberation movement, we don't have anything to do with that. We have not been under the control of the black man for over 500 years, so what do we have to get liberated from them from? They haven't been our boss. That's the white woman and her man. They're going through that, and that's their business. We don't have any business being in that. They only introduced it to break down the civil rights movement. Civil rights movement started with the black man, the black woman, and the black child standing together, trying to plead for freedom, justice, and equality, and more benefits in the country that they had built. They threw the white woman in there with the women's liberation movement and made it a woman against man thing. That created a big separation between black men and black women because then everybody started going for self. Then they bring the welfare system in and tell us in order to feed and clothe and house our children, we have to give up our man. You have to put the man out of the house. When the white farm wife goes to the government for subsidy for the farm, they don't tell her to get rid of the farmer, they keep that family together. But in the black community, they make it a requirement because they want to keep endorsing into the black community that the black man is no good and that he is not deserving of respect, he is not deserving of us letting him give us any protection or instruction, and that we are better than them.
Better housing, better education, a better dispensation of justice, better medical attention. We wanted black men to be exempted from the draft, military service in the war in Indochina. We wanted an end to the exploitation of the black community by white capitalists. Later on we just said capitalists, right? We wanted an end to police brutality and the murder of black people by the police. That was point number 7. It turned out that we really didn't have time for anything but point number 7, because once we implemented that particular point by patrolling the community, and when the cops would come in their cars, and we would get behind them in our cars, and we would be armed, and when they stopped someone, we'd stop and get out of our car. And the law said that you had to stand 10 feet away, and we would stand 10 feet away. And if the cops got our line, then we got our line. And if they started shooting, then we started shooting. Because we didn't feel that there was any more room for playing around with the situation.
And when you open up your airwaves, your ancestors will start to talk to you, because you are born with your calling. Long before you were ever born, long before you were ever conceived, you were given a job to do, and that's your divine calling. There is room for all of us in this process. That's why the Creator gave it to us, because everyone has their own imagination and everyone can contribute through their own imagination. We're living in this society that is extremely competitive, where you can only have one person up on the top of the hill. Africans said, we ain't on a hill, we're on a plateau. And on a plateau, there's room for everybody. When you have a mountain, only one person can be there. That is the premise of white supremacy. There's only one great person, and that's a white person. What Africans said is a plateau. Everybody is great. And when you perceive this, then what happens is that your success is my success. And if I can help you, I'm helping myself. You see, there is sunshine and there's moonlight. The moon don't have no shine. The light that the moon has is sunshine. And so therefore, when the sun shines on the moon has moonlight. And it so happens in life that we all can't be the sun every day. But if I'm the sun on one day, and I reach out to someone else and I shine on someone else and they have light, then we both bask in light and sunshine. Tomorrow, the person that was the moon yesterday may be the sun, and I may be the moon. And if that moon remembers me when I was the sun, they'll shine on me. Shine on me. And in that shine, we all can be seen. That's what our ancestors were talking about. And that's success. Success is your success. My success is your success. If I can help you, I am helping myself. But with competition, as opposed to cooperation. The right mind cooperates, doesn't compete. And if I do compete, which I do, I compete with myself. So when I got up this morning, I saw myself as the better person that went to bed last night. And I look forward to going to bed tonight being the better person than who woke up this morning. My competition is an inner competition to constantly be searching, constantly raw searching, constantly looking for that unique gift within me to move forward in life. And as I begin to move towards this journey that I'm on, in my assisting other people, we're all walking together in this.
The message is still the same. When will it change?
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate